Uncanny X-Men, it's the 22nd issue of this volume, Legacy 644. This is the one that I read at the comic book store because couldn't wait. Begins with the same thing it always begins with, that black page. But it's Emma talking to Scott. Knowing this, I'm intrigued, which I'll do later on. Go upstairs, look at all my comics, and start every comic from, I guess it would be 11 all the way down to 22, and see if it makes sense. Now, the comic book actually begins with a little talk about New York squirrels and how they adapt. Matthew Rosenberg's a New Yorker. He put that in there. I learned something new. Scott sees them as soldiers. Danny Moonstar sees them as friends. And man, Danny Moonstar and the New Mutants, friends are dropping like flies. Even before this comic series with Sunspot leaving and with, who they lose? Havoc right now. They lost a whole bunch of friends over here. And we get to the actual comic part of it. Emma Frost is evil. Logan knows she's evil. Sinister is evil. He's on Logan's Logan is on Sinister's ass trying to kill him. They explain it a way of why he's not priority 8 after this comic series ends. It's like, yo, he's one of the people who healed you back because that poison that you inhaled in that explosion in the last issue kept you down. You and Hope both. But thanks to him, Sinister, and me, Emma Frost, that's the reason, and Nemesis. So he's not going to be attacking them in the future. Honestly, with a new writer coming, they're not going to respect the storyline anyways. See X-Men Gold. Remember that last issue with Kitty Pryde waiting in a waiting room for that one kid mutant who was stood up by the police and got shot when he shouldn't have been shot? Oh, will he make it? The end. Or it said to be continued. Either or. No one picked up on it. So Rosenberg knows. At least he's going to make up for mistakes, which he does with Danny Moonstar later on. The book picks up with a fucking Sentinel coming. Remember we talked about this in the last issue's review? Yeah, you erased all the human beings' minds. What about the Sentinels? One of those Sentinel Warlocks peoples is out here. Scott and Havoc are the first to encounter them. Havoc sacrifices his life. Again with the mutant power redundancies. Havoc and Scott share the same power. It's pretty similar. They can't touch each other or hurt each other. That's the last thing he was explaining before he died. I was wondering why. And there goes Havoc. Too bad, so sad. I don't know why all these people are dying. I feel like Havoc is one I probably wouldn't have killed. Because he's got so much history. He's a favorite of people. I would have done away with Wolfsbane, yeah, but not Havoc. I think Havoc's too important. And it's a comic book death anyways. You know he'll be back. He was a villain and all that bullshit. So these Sentinels are attacking the mutants. Thanks to... And I thought it was Professor X. Nah, it's that general from the ONE, dude over here. He's got his little helmet thing, and he's going to be that last battle. He's the only one standing between the mutants being secret and the human beings knowing all about them. They have to fight this dude. And him and his Sentinel Warlocks deals are a fucking battle. The X-Men unite here in this page, and I was feeling real good about this. And I said, this is a powerful team. Look, we got Mystique and Nemesis. There's multiple men and, numbers, right? They don't fade very well. They don't fare very well. And unfortunately, we lose Warlocks. He gets his memory reset like C-3PO at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So that's kind of dead. It's dead, but at least he's kept alive to tell a new story. And then we get a battle where they almost lose. They come pretty damn close to losing. It's Logan and it's Scott left, and they're talking to each other saying, it was an honor fighting with you. I wish, with all my heart, that this page here would have... And this is a sign of this comic book being rushed, because when I see this fucking surprise, Storm is on the other page, I wish that it would have been revealed on a page 1 rather than over there. Because I turned the page and I'm looking here, my eyes automatically went to that full page of just mutants returning with Jean Grey all the way in the back there. Oh man, I hope my voice didn't go away when I had it behind my mouth, in front of my mouth. But this ruined that for me. It's a sign that it's rushed. You couldn't have put that digital code thing over here where we could flip, to get the codes, and then this would have been the reveal. Too bad, so sad for me. But it was great. To me, my X-Men. And Storm was the one leading it. Not that she's not a leader. I don't mean any offense by saying that. It's just Storm was the one leading it, okay? Not Colossus or Jean. But Jean needed her cinematic entrance over here where she could walk in the blazing fire, kiss Scott Summers, and Emma wasn't feeling it. Logan's feeling bad about it. Hey, Logan, right before you died, you were with Storm. Don't forget that. So this is the first time you're seeing Storm. You need to be all kissing up on her. Storm hasn't been dating anyone after, right? I've been reading. No, she hasn't. So here we go. Dude still has an eye missing. Where's the elixir? Where's Triage? Well, Triage got zapped in the last issue. We need help. So they have to decide whether or not they're gonna stay secretive. Also, Colossus finds out about his sister. Polaris finds out about her Havoc. She likes Havoc. Great. Now it's done. They destroy the mind-wiping thing. The police notice, hey, it's the X-Men. And the way that they were going to be introduced to the MCU happens. And I thought this would be a story that played out through Hickman. No, this is a Matthew Rosenberg idea. So what in the blue blazes is Hickman going to do? Matthew Rosenberg kind of wrapped up his own story. We have always been at war. I shouldn't show the last page. You guys got to buy the comic book. But I mean, like, yeah, it says the end at the bottom too. And it's got Magneto as an X-Men and Mystique and Emma Frost. So that's 3 villains. I feel like the Powers of X book from all of the posters have shown 10 villains, Powers of 10, I should say. And I feel like it'll be a villain book. I have no idea what Hickman is up to. I'm interested in what Hickman is up to. Not enough to like preach about and celebrate about how good it's going to be, but like what Rosenberg was writing was better than what Tom Taylor was writing, better than what Mark Guggenheim was writing. X-Men Gold, X-Men Red. It felt like everything had stakes in it. Everything was meaningful because the whole other X universe was happening in Age of X-Men. Every story he told affected mutants as a whole, which isn't something we've been given. Everyone's been given their piece of the pie. You play in this X-Men Blue wheelhouse with these mutants, and you got the astonishing mutants over here, Charles Soule. Back there's a gold and blue happening. It's and red, and it's like X-Force, and Cable had his thing. It was always divided. This guy got to control what happened to the mutants, and he told a story out of it. Hickman now, he's got 2 books, 2 comics coming out. Back to back to back to back, and he'll do the same thing. I just hope it's good. Usually his stuff is good. I've been reading his Avengers World, New Avengers with the dimensions crashing into each other. There's a word for it. Starts with an I, tip of the tongue. Incursions. Now Jonathan Hickman picked up the Avengers in 2012. He led up to his big Secret Wars event in 2015. What's coming 3 years from now that he's building up to? Because he is building up to something. And a lot of the stories are going to come slow and a little bit confusing, but they'll make sense throughout time from the Hickman Avengers and New Avengers that I'm reading now. I know that. So it's going to be interesting, but it's also going to be like hard to top what Rosenberg was doing, man. Rosenberg was writing the whole X-Men, blue, red, gold, astonishing. All those were divided pieces of the pie. This guy, because of Age of X-Men, which a bunch of you suckers purchased, and now they're back, and I feel like I missed out on nothing by skipping through the Age of X-Men series. Just saying. Now that the X-Men team is back in full force, most of them, the important ones, what can we do? Like, what can we face? Ball's in your court. My name's Chillmonger. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be reviewing more X-Men stuff. And yo, the MCU Phase 4 is gonna have an announcement in a couple of days. Ironheart, Disney Plus, the movie, Dark Avengers, Young Avengers, the Facebook stuff. You guys see all that news?